What's up, guys? It's Kristen from Anime Collective. So this month I finally had some time to get into some manga I've been meaning to read for quite some time. Not only that, but I had a few hauls come in from Right Stuf, as well as some half-price books finds that I'm excited to show you guys from last month. So first off, I'm going to go over my recent reads, and then I'm going to go over my June 2021 manga haul. Also, guys, this month is Right Stuf's birthday sale, so I'm planning on picking up a lot of manga this month. They are going to be running deals throughout the month. You can definitely check out their link in the description below if you'd like to. I'm really excited during this time because I'm going to be picking up a lot of series that I've been meaning to get into, just because they're on super sale at this time. So stay tuned because next month I should have a pretty big haul coming. Anywho, let's get into the video. Here's all the manga I picked up and enjoyed last month. So the first one I started reading this month is Slam Dunk, and I've heard amazing things about Slam Dunk, and since I've read and loved Takehiko Inoue's other manga, Vagabond, I decided to jump into this one. Also, Brad wouldn't quit bothering me to read it, and when he does that, I usually end up discovering a new favorite. I've really been sleeping on this one, and I wish I wouldn't have taken so long to finally give it a shot, because this definitely has the potential so far to be the best sports manga I've ever read. It's early on, so I'm really surprised I'm saying that, but I just hope it continues to be as amazing as it was at the start. I grew up going to my local NBA teams games, but now that I'm older, I wouldn't say that I'm a dedicated basketball fan. I played soccer growing up and throughout high school as well as track, so I am a fan of sports. And while I didn't play basketball competitively or on a team, I have fond memories of playing small pickup games with the kids in my neighborhood growing up. Reading Slam Dunk has reignited those feelings I had as a kid going to basketball games and playing games in the street with my friends, so while I didn't think I'd connect with this manga initially, it ended up doing so in ways I didn't expect. I really love the competitive nature of this manga. It connects with me in that way because I'm a ridiculously competitive person. You have Hanamachi, who has this rivalry with Rukawa both on and off the court, and the humor in this manga is my kind of humor, so this was a huge plus for me as well. I found myself laughing a lot of the time, but it pumped me up other times as well. It just has this awesome energy to it that really pulls you in and characters that you want to root for. After reading Volume 1, I went ahead and bought all of the remaining volumes on Right Stuf, so I guess I really like this one so far. Most of them arrived yesterday with a few on back order still, so I'm excited to read more. Since those are part of this month's haul, here's a quick look at all of the covers and volumes I've received so far. Another one I've been meaning to get around to reading is Elfen Lied. I'm surprised it took me so long to pick it up because it's right up my alley and is the kind of series I'm usually into, tons of blood and gore, but full of substance. But anywho, I picked up Omnibus 1, which contains volumes 1 through 3 while out manga shopping, and I just received the rest of the omnibuses from Right Stuf. So there's a strong juxtaposition between what this manga looks like on the outside with its pink color and cutesy looking characters and what it looks like on the inside. It's funny because a lot of people probably think this is a shoujo manga of first impression, and then I picture someone getting it home and being absolutely appalled because of all the bloodshed and over-the-top violence that occurs in this manga. If someone didn't read the synopsis, this manga has probably catfished someone at some point, but I love the fact that there's such a difference between the style of this series and its graphic nature. I've also heard stories about people not being able to stomach the violence in this manga, but it isn't all that crazy to me just yet, even though there have been a few beheadings and whatnot. I guess I've just become immune to gratuitous blood and gore thanks to all of the horror movies Brad has had me watch over the years and all of my favorite manga. Who knows though, maybe this really picks up in the volumes to come, and something will come along that completely shocks me. To be determined though. With that said, I have really enjoyed reading the story in the first omnibus, and Elfen Lied is one I'm definitely going to stick with for sure. I can see this one becoming a favorite as I get into more chapters because I really love all the psychological elements in this one. I also just had volumes 2 through 4 arrive in my recent Right Stuf haul, and here's what their covers look like. When I get done with this series, I'll definitely let you guys know my thoughts overall. And this is one I've also been meaning to watch also, so I'll compare it to my thoughts on the anime as well. I did it, guys. I finally got into Jojo's Bizarre Adventure after all of these years. Jojo's is one of the longest running and most popular series that I've yet to get into, and in all honesty, I haven't because it intimidated me. There are just so many volumes and parts to pick up, and I was hesitant to get into another long-running series. With more time now, though, and since I was in search of a new series to read, I'm ready to get into it, and I'm excited I finally did after reading the first volume. I still have no idea what's in store for me with the series, and that really excites me. I've seen various figures of characters over the years that I thought looked really cool, so I know there are a lot of characters I'll gravitate to in the future, but as of now, I've only met a few so far, including Jojo and Dio. I don't like Dio in the least bit. I think that's the point though, and while I've seen some others say he's somewhat likable because he's charming, I think that makes me dislike him even more. In terms of how good he is as a character and the role he plays in this story though, he is well written and is effective. Jojo is still coming into his own, but I can already tell I'll like him as a character. I also love manga with supernatural elements in them, so this one has me hooked. The art style is unique and different from anything I've ever seen, which is not a good or bad thing necessarily because I know that his art is going to evolve over the course of the series. I think that's probably why people don't like the art within JoJo's at first because it's so different. It's definitely something I found myself having to get used to at first, and the proportions of the characters are quite crazy, but I think the art style is something that I'll end up loving later on. I'm still in part 1, which is Phantom Blood, and super early on. I'm liking where this one is headed so far, but I can't wait to experience bizarre adventures that are to come. What about you guys? When did you really start enjoying JoJo's bizarre adventure, right from the get-go, or did it take some time to catch on? Up next is Fist of the North Star. Even though I was a 90s kid, I grew up watching all of the movies from the late 70s and into the 80s, like Mad Max, The Warriors, The Lost Boys, and more, because they were some of my parents' favorites. Incidentally, they ended up becoming some of my favorites as well, and while I personally didn't grow up watching Fist of the North Star as a kid, it felt so familiar and comforting to me, because it was as perfectly cheesy as those movies I grew up watching with its over-the-top fights, lines, and characters. Cheesy can be a bad thing when it's in something like a romance anime or whatnot, but when it's a post-apocalyptic story that's full of action and fights, it definitely works for me. I'm also a huge Bruce Lee fan because my dad collected all of his movies and had me watching those at a young age. It was enjoyable to see that Kenshiro's fighting style is very reminiscent of his. That was something I really enjoyed seeing, and I also loved watching him fight. He's somewhat impulsive and reckless too, which is a trait I always tend to gravitate towards with manga characters, and because of that, you are always on the edge of your seat wondering who he is going to vow to destroy and take head on next. I also love all the blood and gore that's in this one as well. I had a lot of fun reading Fist of the North Star's first volume, and I'm excited for more volumes to be released. Also, I'll be doing a full review of this one on the channel where I'll take an in-depth look at the first volume and more on what I thought about the story so far, so that video will be arriving to the channel soon. I also picked up and read a few of the continuing series that I'm into last month. I talked about Gigant in one of my past recent reads, but it's one of my Hiroya Oku that I've been really enjoying, so I got volume 5 this month. I also picked up and read the second Shaman King omnibus, so I continued reading that one this month, and I will be picking those up as they release. And I also got caught up on My Hero with volume 28. This is one of my favorite covers so far, along with volume 27, and this arc of MHA is one of my favorites. My Hero Academia is one I have continued to pick up as they release as well, and since I'm really anxious to see what happens next, I might just have to get caught up with the chapters that have been released so far on the Shonen Jump app. Finally, I caught up on Hellsing, so the third and final deluxe edition just recently released, so I'll have a full review of those coming to the channel soon. All of my recent reads last month were also included in this month's haul, but there are also some that I haven't gotten around to reading yet. I actually went to Half Price Books just recently and found some amazing finds that I've been in search of, and a few I didn't even know existed or wanted. One of the ones I didn't know existed was Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage. Honestly, I saw Bullets and Carnage in a spine with the SIG series logo on it, which have released some of my favorite series like Dorohedoro, Hell's Paradise, Tokyo Ghoul, and more, and my mind was made up that I was buying this one. The cover and synopsis, which involves a secret underground organization, made this one that much more enticing to me, so I ultimately decided to give it a shot. Luckily, I was able to find the prequel manga for Dogs there as well as volume 1, so I can start reading this one while the others are on the way. It looks like this one has a total of 10 volumes as well as a prequel volume as of now, but is currently on hiatus. I also picked up volume 3 at half price, so I was only able to find 3 volumes in total. Another one I picked up at half price is one I was actually in search of, School Live. I found volume 1 for a really cheap price, and I was really excited to find this one on the shelf. So I love zombie stories with Zom 100, I Am a Hero, High School of the Dead being some I've talked about or reviewed in the past. I really wanted to read every zombie manga out there, and School Live is one I've continuously heard good things about. I also love manga that look like one thing and turn out to be something completely different, and this definitely looks like it's going to be one of those series. I'm going to pick up the rest of the volumes on Right Stuf, but I'm waiting to see if they go on sale during their birthday sale before doing so. Another half-price unexpected find was volume 3 of Eureka 7. Anytime I see Bandai on a spine, I pick it up off the shelf and usually end up buying it, especially since I love mecha series. I'm always on the lookout for Code Geass, Gundam, and whatnot, but had no idea there was a Eureka 7 manga adaptation, so this was one I was excited to find. Now I just have to find and pick up the rest. I also picked up some various Danganronpa volumes at half price because I've been meaning to read it. I got Danganronpa the Animation Volume 4, so I still need 1 through 3. Ultra Despair Girls Volumes 2 and 3, so I just need 1 of that one. Goodbye Despair 1 and 2, so 1 left of that one as well, and I'll be caught up there. And finally, I got Danganronpa 2 Volume 3. Bunch of random volumes, but a lot of good finds. And finally, I picked up 3 random volumes of Jojo's at half price for pretty cheap, and anytime I see these on sale, I just pick them up because I'm going to need them eventually. I also had a Right Stuf haul come in last month and picked up a lot I've been meaning to. Should have probably waited for the birthday sale, but I've been afraid of stuff going out of stock lately. Up first is Gangsta. I picked up all of the volumes, but some are still on back order. Here are all of the volumes I've received so far. I picked this one up because I like manga that center around crime, and it's a seinen that I have yet to read. The art style is also one I love, and I just have a feeling that this is one I'll really enjoy. I also finally picked up volume 11 of the 20th Century Boys Perfect Edition. I've been slacking on picking this one up, but finally got that one in as well. Another one that was slacking on picking up was the rest of the Full Metal editions, which I just recently reviewed on the channel, so definitely check that out if you want to see more about these and get an inside look of the first volume. I picked up volumes 10 through 11, so I'm finally fully caught up with these. That is until volume 14 releases in August. The final series I picked up from Right Stuf last month is Raw Hero, and I got volumes 1 through 4, so that's now up to date. I've been meaning to get into this one because I love Akira Hiramoto's art and his other series, Prison School. I'm a huge fan of his humor as well, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'll let you know how it is in next month's recent reads. I walked into my local Barnes & Noble one day last month and also found volumes 19 through 21 to Triage X on the shelf, which I wasn't expecting at all. I'm keeping an eye on the rest of the volumes that are in stock on Right Stuf and hoping they go on sale during their birthday sale, but I'm going to pick up the rest of these this month. I love High School of the Dead and Shoji Sato's art, so this was a must-have for me. I also had a few out-of-print series that I picked up off of eBay and Reddit. I bought all of the volumes of Resident Evil Marhawa Desire off of Reddit, but volume 3 is still on the way. This is another one I've heard good things about, and I'm picking up in my endeavor to read all of the zombie manga that exist. I'm a huge fan of horror manga and thought it was cool that a manga came out based on the Resident Evil games, and after months of thinking about it, I finally just decided to pick it up. I'm also currently working to complete all of the individual volumes of Gantz. I'm almost there and even closer now that I picked up volume 19 off of eBay. These are ones I'm picking up here and there when I find a good price, but I'm so close to having the complete series. All in all, a really good month with some really great finds. There you have it, guys. There's all the manga I picked up and enjoyed in June 2021. What about you guys? What series did you pick up last month and enjoy so far? Let me know in the comments below. Stay tuned to the channel because I should have a big manga haul coming next month because of Right Stuf's birthday sale, and I also have a lot of manga reviews on the way. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.